Today on People Now, everything we've learned about the missing 13-year-old who's been found alive almost 3 months after she disappeared and her parents were murdered.
R. Kelly's daughter breaks her silence, condemning her father in an emotional post.
Modern Family star Sarah Hyland opening up about her health and how she met her Bachelor star boyfriend Wells Adams only days before her surgery.
Tim Tebow put a ring on it. We've got all the swoon-worthy proposal details.
Plus,
so I would tell Keanu everything I felt or thought or knew.
Replicas star Alice Eve tells us how Keanu Reeves became her confession vault on set.
Such a funny story. It's all today on People Now. Let's go.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to People Now. Good to see you. Hello, Andrea.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. A lot to get to today. Here's what you need to know and what's trending, starting with some good news. Watch this.
My deputies responded en masse immediately and identified Jayme as the person that approached the neighbor, took control of her and possession of her and put her in safekeeping. And a short time later, one of my patrol sergeants happened to find a vehicle that matched the description that Jayme gave my deputies of the suspect, and pulled the vehicle over and took the suspect in custody at that time. Beyond that, Jayme was taken to a local hospital up in the Duluth Superior area, where she was looked over and examined, and she was held overnight for observation.
Good news in an otherwise tragic story. That was the Douglas County Sheriff confirming that Jayme Closs had been found alive, the 13-year-old Wisconsin girl who was declared missing and endangered after her parents were found dead in their home on October 15th. She has been found alive. According to the sheriff, she was found by a dog walker. The dog walker pounded on neighbors' doors, telling them to call 911, saying that Jayme Closs had been found. Now, officials at the news conference confirmed a 21-year-old Jake Thomas Patterson had been taken into custody and was being held in the Barron County Jail. He's being held on 2 counts, 1 count of homicide for the murder of Jayme's parents and 1 count of kidnapping. Now, her aunt told CNN affiliate WCCO that there had been earlier rumors of Closs being found. Those turned out to be untrue, but this call was very real, and it was the news that they'd all been waiting for. Listen.
To find out 2 hours later that she was found, I just cannot believe this.
The girl's hometown of Barron, Wisconsin rejoiced at the news, with the mayor praising law enforcement for doing a great job and admitting that it was an emotional moment. Listen to this.
I am overwhelmed. We've been praying daily for a long time now that we'd have Jayme return safely to our community, and I guess you can tell by the emotion in my voice, this is really a big deal. We're really thrilled.
Well, really hitting close to home for everyone involved. Andy Murray may be done with playing tennis, guys, as we move on to this story. A press conference before the Australian Open, a teary-eyed Murray admitted he's been playing in a lot of pain for about 20 months now due to a long-standing hip injury. When asked by a reporter if this Australian Open could be his last tournament, Murray broke down. Watch.
Yeah, I think there's a chance of that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a chance of that for sure, because yeah, like I said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm able to play through the pain, for another 4 or 5 months.
You can really tell he's feeling the weight of everything there. Murray, who's from the UK, did say he hopes to play at Wimbledon this summer and retire on home soil, but admitted he was not sure if that was possible. Watch this.
I said to my team, look, I think I can kind of get through this until Wimbledon. That is where I would like to. That's where I would like to stop playing. But I'm also not certain I'm able to do that.
Murray will begin the Australian Open Monday. It could be an emotional affair if it does turn out to be his last game ever, no doubt.
Man, yeah, my heart breaks for him. He's so emotional. And obviously, if you see your career coming to an end like that, possibly,
Yeah, lots of heavy stories this morning.
All right, yes. Moving on to this. R. Kelly's daughter, Buku Abai, is breaking her silence on the allegations surrounding her estranged father. On Thursday, Abai, whose real name is Joan Kelly, posted a lengthy message on her Instagram stories condemning her terrible father for his actions and explained why it took her so long to speak out. Now, we've been talking about this a lot these past few weeks. R. Kelly has come under intense scrutiny in the wake of the Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly that features interviews with multiple women who claim for decades that Kelly used his power and influence to sexually and physically abuse young women and girls. So this is her post. In part, she says, "I am speaking from the heart. Nothing I say or do is to hurt any party reading this or affected by this. I just want you all to understand that devastated is an understatement for all that I feel currently. I do apologize if my silence to all that is happening comes off as careless. That is my last intention. I pray for all the families and women who have been affected by my father's actions. Trust, I have been deeply affected by all of this." From there, she said that while it's been very difficult to process it all, she clarified that she nor her mother and siblings have had a relationship with Kelly for quite some time. She also referred to Kelly as a monster, saying, "The same monster you all confronting me about is my father. I'm well aware of who and what he is. I grew up in that house." She concluded the Insta story post by saying, quote, "I just want everyone to know that I do care and I love you all. This is a very difficult subject to speak on. Again, I apologize if my words don't come out right." Now, in addition to R. Kelly's daughter, his ex-wife, Andrea Kelly, has also previously spoken out about raising their kids amidst the abuse allegations. In a statement obtained by People, a rep for Andrea said that Kelly, quote, "has chosen to not be around their 3 children. The statement continued saying, quote, "Ms. Kelly has never denied Mr. Kelly from seeing their children. He has chosen to not be around." The statement read, "He has not tried to make contact with them." Well, during the intense and heartbreaking documentary, Andrea detailed years of abuse during her life with R. Kelly, experiences that she says drove her to contemplate taking her own life. Representatives for R. Kelly previously responded no comment to People's request for a response to the allegations made in Surviving R. Kelly and interviews with alleged victims in this week's issue of People. All right, moving on to this. Sarah Hyland is getting candid about some of her darker days on Friday's episode of Ellen, opening up about her battle with depression among a slew of other chronic health issues and how she overcame suicidal thoughts, telling Ellen, quote, "At the time, I was 26, and after 27 years of always being sick and being in chronic pain every single day, and you don't know when you're going to have the next good day, it's really, really hard." Take a look at what else she had to say. It's very powerful.
I would write letters in my head to loved ones of why I did it and my reasoning behind it, how it's nobody's fault. And I didn't want to write it down on paper because I didn't want anybody to find it.
Were you really close to doing that?
I was very close, yeah. But I think talking to someone and saying it out loud really, really makes it sound almost ridiculous, and it puts everything into perspective.
Now, Hyland has been very open with her health issues over the years, specifically her kidney dysplasia, which means her kidneys did not develop properly when she was in the womb and frequently form painful cysts.
Yeah, she talked about all that on Ellen. It was such a big deal. Her health issues, they don't really stop there. Also has endometriosis, gout, and abdominal hernia, which led to more surgeries. She told Ellen that she's had 6 in the last 17 months and 16 total over the course of her life. Really tough stuff there.
Wow, and throughout all of this trauma, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, love. Hyland reveals to Ellen how she met her current boyfriend, Wells Adams, from The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise. Just days before her surgery, she was still trying to meet him, but that surgery date was getting close, so she texted him saying he has to come out to LA right now.
And the next day he texted me, "See you on Saturday." And I was like, oh, that is so romantic. He's like, I'm presenting at this award show, and I was like, oh, he totally called whoever his people are, and we're like, get me to LA by the end of the week, just for me.
Look, I love how open and honest she's being about all of it. I think that her honesty is going to help a lot of people who struggle with the same types of issues, you know?
Yeah, I mean, she's being very vulnerable. I saw them at the Golden Globes, and they're so, so cute together. They're one of my favorite couples, because he's kind of been with her through it all from the beginning, days before the surgery. That's when he met her.
Should we just claim that they're the best thing to come out of The Bachelor?
Oh,
even though it's like
yes,
so
no, absolutely,
connected from
100%.
one degree.
All right, we have some more love today. Tebow just put a ring on it. People has exclusively revealed that the former NFL quarterback is engaged to his girlfriend, girlfriend, Demi Lee Nell Peters. So this happened at his family's farm outside Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a farm girl, so I'm all about this.
This was so romantic. They had this stroll, they stopped at a small lake. Tebow had an arbor installed and this bench engraved with the date that they met.
That's
right?
awesome.
All out.
So he gets down on one knee. He slipped the ring on her finger. He said, "This ring is internally flawless, just like you."
I mean, come on, swoon,
And the
right?
ring, I mean, if we look at it there, it's solitaire, 7.25 carats.
Whew.
I mean, it's gorgeous.
He says that he wasn't really nervous. He was excited. He wanted everything to go exactly right and go smoothly. And Demi Lee did not see it coming at all.
Which is the best.
Here's what Tebow told her: a belated Christmas dinner with his family. That was sort of the lie that got her there. He thought that was happening.
But he went all out. I mean, he flew her family and close friends from South Africa to celebrate with them. So that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, he ended the night at dinner at Jacksonville Club with all their loved ones. They had speeches, they had toasts, they prayed about their relationship. His faith is very important for him. He's actually spoken out before about their relationship and the things that he needed.
Yeah, and he wasn't sure if he was going to find anybody and thought maybe, you know, he was just going to be single forever. He really wanted to settle down. But then turns out he finds her and the rest is history.
Yeah,
He's looking for someone that was, you know, religious, kind of had the same values and everything.
Yeah, so he found her.
Yeah.
It's happening.
I
Good for
know.
them. Congratulations, guys. And very romantic. Thanks for setting the bar impossible.
I know.
I'm glad I'm already past that. So
You're
I don't
right
have
past it, you don't have to worry.
All right, on to this. Martha Stewart might just have the perfect breakfast hack for the newly engaged lovebirds. They should listen to this.
Yeah, this is really, the Chop Judge recently had Twitter in a frenzy after the Food Network posted a video featuring her soft scrambled egg secret. So here's a hint. It involves a cappuccino steamer.
Yeah, I'm already out on that part. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're going to talk more about Martha's wacky scrambled egg routine a little bit later. But first, we wanted to know, would you try cooking scrambled eggs with a cappuccino machine instead? Is it a yes? Maybe you think it's totally weird. I don't know. Maybe you don't even have a cappuccino machine like us.
I feel like a lot of people don't have one, but vote in our People poll or just tweet us your answer with the hashtag PeopleNow.
We're going to check in on those results a little bit later, but now we move on to this.
So we are a little over 2 weeks away from Megan Mullally hosting the Screen Actors Guild Awards. We've got an exclusive look at a new promo that shows she is freestyling her way to the big night.
We're gonna spend the night together, and I want everyone to watch. Of course, they'll be watching. I'll be hosting, and all the biggest stars will be there. It's a little sad, though. I look great, but you're the one they want. You made us love you. Of all awards, we choose you. We wouldn't want to lose you. I get to host you. Such a glorious task. I'm the 100th one they asked. Oh, Mahershala, Winkler, Gaga, Bradley, Olivia Colman, Odenkirk, Hader, Clarkson, Bateman, Melissa McCarthy. You know you made us love you.
The SAG Awards, hosted by Megan Mullally. Live Sunday, January 27th on TNT and TBS.
So there's the whole promo.
I'm so excited. She's the best.
Kind of got everybody in there. Wouldn't you love to be there for the filming of the promos? Like imagine like all the spitballing, all the like random.
I think that this is going to make the SAG Awards so amazing.
Yeah.
She's only the second host that they've had. And
Right.
obviously, you know, Bar was set high last year with Kristen Bell. She's going to be amazing.
Swapping with the Oscars to the no-host thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
No, and people are really looking forward to see if A Star is Born
Yep.
sweeps because they thought they was going to sweep at the Golden Globes. It didn't. So you got some nominations for A Star is Born. Obviously, Best Actress for Lady Gaga. We got Bradley Cooper, Best Ensemble. Best Supporting Actor for Sam Elliott. So we'll see what happens there.
Some other huge movies that we're looking forward to, Black Klansman and The Favorite. They have 3 nominations each. Those, I think, could come out pretty strong. At
The Favorite is my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for that. Also on the small screen, you got The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Ozark. They topped the competition with 4 noms each. We both like those shows.
And guys, the moment I'm waiting for the most, Tom Hanks, my favorite. He's set to present the SAG's Lifetime Achievement Award to veteran actor Alan Alda. That'll be a really great,
So
undoubtedly great speech.
exciting.
And then I can't wait to hear all the
Yeah, you can watch the SAG Awards when they air live January 27th on TBS and TNT.
All right, moving right along. Some major baby news for Kim Ye.
And Kendall is clearing something up.
In case you missed it, it's all in this week's Star Treks Roundup. Take a look at this.
Oh, baby. It's going to be a boy for the Kardashian West family.
Now they'll have 2 boys and 2 girls, and they couldn't be more thrilled.
The kids are excited too.
Kim has said that she always wanted 4 kids, and recently she joked that North was asking for a little baby brother, so this is really the perfect news for their family.
And this will be Kim and Kanye's second baby via a surrogate.
They had a surrogate with Chicago because Kim had super difficult pregnancies her first time around with North and Saint, and they just knew this was the safest option.
But the couple is using a different surrogate this time around.
When she had Chicago, Kim was super surprised by how much she enjoyed the surrogacy process, and she loves the woman that carried Chicago. Unfortunately, she's not available, but everything still seems to be going great, and they couldn't be happier.
Congrats, Kim and Kanye. We're all just keeping up with your growing fams. And move over Kim, sister Kendall Jenner's got some news of her own.
I can honestly say that the magic was proactive.
Kendall tweeted a video announcing that she is partnering up with Proactive to help inspire other people who have struggled with acne and confidence like herself. She's really excited to show her fans how she's worked to clear up her own skin.
And I'm hoping that I can help people and show people that this is the way that I got clear, and that hopefully this is the way that you can get clear.
Kendall's obviously a super gorgeous, super famous supermodel, and she's been in the spotlight ever since she was a little girl and Keeping Up with the Kardashians. This is incredibly relatable to her fans because even someone that looks like her struggles with acne and with confidence.
Kendall.
At the Golden Globes last year, Kendall was photographed, and a lot of people were really mean to her on Twitter, pointing out her acne in the photos.
But she still strutted that carpet looking gorgeous and made it clear that acne shouldn't hold you back.
Even though she got a lot of hate online, people did support Kendall, especially after she hit back at critics and said you can't let stuff like acne get you down.
We couldn't agree more, Kendall.
All right, guys, stay with us. We're breaking down Martha Stewart's breakfast life hack, and we'll check in with our People poll to see what you guys think of it. Plus, we're live with Elisabeth Röhm talking about her new movie, family, and so much more. Stick around for that.
Timothée Chalamet made an appearance on Friday's episode of The Ellen Show and cleared up some confusion about his Golden Globes wardrobe. Take a look.
That's a Louis Vuitton, like Virgil Abloh. That's a designer who did it.
So it was fantastic, and people thought you were wearing a harness of some sort.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a bib. They told me it was a bib, and I had a friend send me a thing that, like sex dungeon culture is a thing where you wear harnesses. So
that
maybe
that got a lot of pickup.
I didn't do it for that reason.
He's like clueless about what people were thinking, but there you go. So Timothée took his mother as his date to the Globes. As sweet as that was, he revealed that as a kid that he may have caused his mom a little bit of trouble.
I used to go on these cruise ships with my mom. Like when I was like 8 to 12 years old, we would do these cruise ships together, and we were pulling into port once, and she was getting out of a shower, she was drying herself, and she went on the balcony just to like kind of go like woo as we were pulling into port. And just to, be funny, I locked the door, just locked the balcony door, and kind of like pretended to be like leaving the room, just kind of dancing about. And I thought it'd be really funny if I actually left the room and like gave it a minute or 2 minutes or something and like let her back in. And I waited like 3 minutes and I didn't have my key card after I realized. And like we were pulling, like our balcony was on the side of the...
Was she naked?
She was naked.
Oh my gosh. But do not worry, guys. She got back inside. Everything was forgiven, but that's an amazing story.
Probably took him a while to move on from that. Timothée was nominated at the Globes for his role in Beautiful Boy. It's his emotional story of drug addiction, the impact on the family. He starred alongside Steve Carell. Turns out he's a huge fan of The Office.
Yeah.
It was a really special thing for him.
So he told Ellen what it was like working with one of his idols. Watch.
I don't know in the past, but now who can like do comedy to that level and drama to that level? And also he's just an amazing human being, a great father, and like opens the van door for people to get out, and is just, and he's Michael Scott. He's The Office. Like,
Did he know that you were a huge fan? Because I know you were a fan of The Office.
No, he didn't. I'm like 80% of my time with people that I've looked up to, I'm just like trying not to reveal it, like right now.
I really like him.
I do too.
He's great. Moving on from heartthrobs to some unusual home cooking. Martha Stewart broke the internet after the Food Network posted a video showing the interesting way that the Chopped Judge likes to whip up her scrambled eggs. It combines 2 breakfast rituals into one bizarre routine. Take a look at this.
Break up the eggs, a little salt, a little pepper, and about a teaspoon and a half of butter. And now insert the steam wand right into the scrambled eggs. It steams the eggs into the softest, fluffiest scrambled eggs.
I saw this, and this is so wild. I never would have thought to do this. I mean, it's the same thing. Basic ingredients for scrambled eggs. Eggs, salt, pepper, butter. The only thing that changes is the cooking method, using a cappuccino machine.
I don't know. I mean, my thing is like cleaning it afterwards. If you just use it for that, fine, but I wouldn't want the back and forth. Anyway, the steamed eggs, they look good. Undercooking, is that an issue? I don't know, but people have lots of opinions on
I was
this.
looking at the thread. A lot of people do not like this because most people don't have an espresso machine.
First of all,
how
that,
do you even relate to that?
Yeah.
We have, Dino makes a good point saying, raise your hand if you have one of those in your kitchen. Now raise your hand if you have a skillet. I mean, most people have a skillet. Not a lot of people have an espresso machine.
So the steamers on cappuccino makers, they get dirty, and that's what I was saying. Like, you have to clean it a lot. So for me, that's a problem. But this person says, why ruin your steamer for some scrambled eggs? Nope. Imagine cleaning Eggo goo off the wand and off that, right? Like,
sounds so gross. Some people were all in for this idea, though. Brian Samuel said, this is how they do them at I Love Bouvet, and they're still some of the best scrambled eggs I've ever had. So, and that's a restaurant in New York City. So this is a thing that some restaurants do.
I wonder if they also clean it and do actual cappuccino.
Just watching the video, it made me feel so weird. It just, I didn't like it.
Some of the best reactions were these GIFs and memes kind of predicting future cooking methods. Yolanda tweeted this picture. I guess it's her version of making use of another household item for some creative cooking.
If you don't have a toaster,
just iron it. Iron that thing out. No big
deal.
deal.
So we want to take a look at your reactions to this weird egg scrambling hack. We've been asking you to vote in our People poll for whether or not you'd scramble your eggs with a cappuccino machine. All right, so let's check in on the results so far.
Let's see. Don't even have a machine. Not surprised.
And then in second place is totally weird, which I agree.
Third 15%,
Kind of gives me the
I would try
heebie-jeebies,
it.
I don't know.
Look, I'm in the 15%. I would try it if it were someone else's cappuccino machine.
I
That's
don't
my
even really
thing.
like scrambled eggs.
Come
so
on.
This isn't even like a good story
You don't
for
like
me.
scrambled eggs?
I don't like just the slimy.
No, but
Yeah.
not when they're
And
fully
it seemed,
cooked.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe you've
But the
had wrong-
cappuccino machine eggs seem even more slimy
I'll make
than
some
the
scrambled
regular.
eggs for you. You're gonna love. Cheese on top,
All right.
melted, some salt and pepper, some jalapeno.
Anyway, keep voting in our People poll. All right, moving on to this.
Alice Eve stopped by People Now to talk about her new futuristic film, Replicas, that will definitely have you talking. Take a look at this.
It's about death and rebirth. It's about what happens if you die and you could come back, and would you take the option, and what would that mean? You know, it's a big deal because we're kind of getting there. The idea of playing a woman who has like a life and then has it altered and then has to come back is like very interesting for an actor. What happens to a person who maybe is brought back? I know that some people who've cloned their dogs, the dogs look the same and they have the same markings, but the actual personality of the dog is different, even though it's a clone. So like, what happens if you're cloned? And I came to the conclusion with Mona that she would feel a sense of disassociation all the time. Like there was another narrative running alongside the existence she was in, which we understand from our phones, I think, and the 2 lives we lead or the 5 lives we lead, and that she was kind of constantly suspicious, almost like you are when you think there's a ghost or something, and that state of heightened anxiety that she was living with, yeah. I really want people to question things. I really want people to have the debate about would you or wouldn't you, and what are the ramifications, and to understand like what, I don't know, I still don't know the answer, but where you stand on death and life. I think it's an interesting conversation.
It's an interesting concept. So kind of cool to hear her talking about science and cloning.
Yeah, she also opened up about her co-star Keanu Reeves, who we think is amazing. It's an actor that she's actually revered for a very long time. Working with him, though, it seemed like Alice may have gotten a little too comfy, a little too quick. Watch.
He's a real cool dude, Keanu. So, you know, I didn't say much to him until I realized if I didn't say much, we wouldn't say anything at all.
Like he won't give first.
So then he became my complete, like, confidant. So I would tell Keanu everything I felt or thought or knew, or my mum had emailed me. My mum was emailing me saying, can you freeze your eggs, please freeze your eggs. And I'd like go and sit with Keanu and be like, my mum wants me to freeze my eggs. What do I do? And he'd be like, dear Sharon. And he would like tell me these emails to write back.
Also, he's like
frozen my
crafting.
eggs.
He's like transcribing the email.
So wait, did he think you should freeze your eggs?
He was like, do what you want, but write this in the meantime. I guess
And-
once he said, I was like, Keanu, I'm gonna tell you something, but promise that you won't tell anyone this. And he said, I'm a vault. And I was like, well, if you're a vault, then I'm gonna tell you everything.
Yeah, like here it comes. Worst thing you could have said, pal.
Yeah.
Because here it comes.
Here it
You're
is.
gonna need that on set, though.
That's funny.
After
Yeah,
such
you
a-
need a friend on set, and I realized that the dynamic would be me confessing.
I mean, Keanu definitely opened Pandora's box by referring to himself as a vault, right?
What did
I
he
feel like
expect to
everything is
happen?
fair game. You guys, make sure to check out Replicas in theaters now. All right, now watch this.
It's not at all what I expected.
Which was?
No. Just taking it all in. You still love him? Why would you ask that? It's not a question.
There we go. The new movie, Sergeant Will Gardner, follows a troubled Iraq War vet as he struggles with a traumatic brain injury, travels across the country to reunite with his family.
And we are joined now by one of the movie stars, Elisabeth Röhm. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing?
Really good, really good. Thank you for supporting the movie.
Yeah, now you play the mother of Sergeant Will Gardner's young son. Now she has a really tough task because she wants to protect her son, also wants her son to have this relationship with his father. Why was this such an important story for you to tell?
Well, I mean, one of the exciting things about independent film is that, you really can get gritty and go to another level of artistic expression. So it's not, a studio film is a really different feeling. Max Martini wrote it and directed it and starred in it, and his concept was to give 30% of the film's earnings away to our veterans. So
great.
All of us that are part of it, we were a part of that mission. So the film really does have a mission. It's a film, that has a purpose. And Max just called together some of his really good friends and said, let's make this movie and, give back to the heroes that protect us.
You can really feel it. I mean, even just watching that clip for you guys, you could feel it as it played out. Let's talk about this a bit. For a long time, Kimmy didn't know if Will was alive. Now the war haunts him every day. It's a story that many soldiers, many veterans relate to. They know they can't really repair that old relationship. It's a heartbreaking story, but for you, what did you tap into to kind of get there as an actress? Was there something that you pulled from? Do you have people that you know that have gone through this type of thing?
I think it's really a universal feeling that all of us have, that there are probably parts of our life that we couldn't fully experience or live through. And I'm sure there's probably somebody that we all would like to see, like a ghost, from our past coming and, we get to reconcile that love, but we never really get to be together ever again. So there's something about that haunting feeling of loving this person that really wasn't right for me, and then starting another family, but longing for him and missing him. And so it's this other part of your life that you never will completely assimilate, but it's a huge part of your soul, right? She has a child with him, and so she's torn between these two men. Essentially, she'll always love him. But when people are damaged and they have, they have troubles, for her it was easier to have a life without him.
Yeah, that's a very powerful story. Make
Yeah.
sure to check that out. Another thing that you have going on, you're gearing up to play Fox News host Martha McCallum in an upcoming Roger Ailes movie.
Right.
This is a huge project.
Yeah.
Now, of course, she was one of the people that defended him amid the sexual harassment allegations.
Right.
What can people expect from this project?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a really powerful film, very controversial, and I think, just extremely honest. I mean, Charlize Theron does a complete transformation in it, and Margot Robbie, Allison Janney, Nicole Kidman, to name a few, John Lithgow. It's just going to be really powerful, and Jay Roach is an incredible director. So I would expect it to be searingly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, that
and a lot of eyeballs, lots of attention on
cast
that.
is incredible. Who from the cast were you most excited to work with?
Well, I worked with Margot Robbie, so I would just say she, especially seeing her whole journey as an actress, she's incredible, an incredible old soul. So it was really fun to work with her.
Just saw her in that Mary Queen of Scots. She's amazing.
I know.
Man, I can't wait to see you and her and all of the cast in that project.
There are a lot of blondes in the movie.
Yeah, it turns out it's a good day for the casting.
A lot of blondes,
blonde
some
actresses.
skirts, yeah.
We also remember you from one of the first big TV roles, Law & Order.
Yeah.
No big deal at all. But 2019 marks 15 years since Jerry Orbach passed away. You've talked about how welcoming he was to you on set. When you think back about that time with him, is there a moment that sticks out with you or to you from all of that?
He was really just a mensch. In fact, we're here visiting New York right now, talking about the movie and seeing you guys, seeing some other friends, and it brings back a lot of memories of New York and Law & Order. And I mean, Jerry, he loved his Reubens, he loved his Jewish delis, he loved the theater, he loved Midtown. He was just a real New Yorker, a real showman. And when I joined Law & Order, I decided that I was going to throw myself a party. You're like, I'm going to throw myself a party.
Congratulations, I got it.
Congratulations to me.
Yeah.
And so I invited all of the cast to come to my house for a party, and nobody came, except for Jerry Orbach.
He did.
Who came and didn't have one drink. He came and stayed with his wife Elaine and stayed and stayed. And he really taught me, he taught me so much just about how to be a professional. I mean, he didn't have time for you to do 3 takes. He was like, kid, get it right, 2 takes, that's it. I got a golf game. I got to get out of here.
Wow.
So there was a sense that, he really was a mentor to me and gave me, I think, a sense of professionalism. you know, and an appreciation of the crew. And he was a real entertainer.
What a great story.
Yeah, I know, that's amazing. All right, last work question.
Yes.
American Hustle. Some of your American Hustle co-stars are having these epic years.
Right.
You got Christian Bale, Amy Adams up for awards, and then Bradley Cooper with A Star Is Born directing,
I know.
acting, and singing. Did you see that? Did you know he was capable of
Oh
singing
yeah,
and
come
everything?
on. I mean, he danced his butt off in Silver Lining Playbook, so you know he had moves. But no, it was really interesting to watch his career develop and to see the relationship between David O. Russell and he while we were doing American Hustle. So, you know, I had a very strong feeling he was going to direct, and I look forward to working with him again.
Can we ask you quickly about your daughter, Easton, 10 years
Sure.
old? Mom
Yes.
life, going.
Well, and I'm sure she doesn't like that I'm blogging about her now that she's like, you know, a preteen. But
That's what I was going to ask, if she's still like best buds, or as she's getting older, is it turning? You know, that tween, teeny thing is coming up.
Don't say that.
It's on the way.
No, that just hurt me.
I don't, well, no, look.
Cool mom. You're always going to be a cool mom.
Like my 6-year-old little girl is already treating me like she's a teenager.
Oh.
So I feel that.
I do see the tear. It's a little bit emotional. No,
Yeah.
she's, you know, we've always been very close. I was a single mom most of her life, and but now, you know, she definitely is finding her voice, and I'm trying to encourage that, but not to the point where, you know, she's disrespectful. But she feels very mature for her age. I'm learning to evolve with her.
Yeah, we saw on Instagram that you two went to Iceland a couple months ago, which I've been dying to go there. What are your tips? What are your tips for traveling with a kid 10 or under, like from getting off the plane to the sightseeing?
You know, lucky for me, Easton has traveled with me most of my career. We've lived on sets. We've lived in Boston for American Hustle and Joy, and I do a show called The Oath in Puerto Rico. So she's really a kid growing up in this circus of this business. So she's a great traveler. So it's nice to have a buddy that's a great traveler. But I think, I don't know, the next vlog for sure should be about this subject. I'm going to go back to LA right on the plane about, you know, how do I evolve with this child who's becoming a person?
Yeah,
you know?
stay on a somewhat friendly basis but still be the authority, right? And all that
exactly.
stuff. Hey, when you first walked in, you were like, hey, I'm a People staffer too. You
That's
write a
right.
blog
That's
for
right.
people. And in one of those blogs, you talked about co-parenting with your ex and dealing with all of that. What's the most important thing you think people need to know if they're starting to face that type of dynamic? How to co-parent well, going through a divorce and all of that?
You know, I took a couple years off writing the blog because I think I felt really vulnerable, embarrassed, maybe didn't want to come out of the closet, so to speak, about all of the details of getting divorced. And I think it's embarrassing to your child, you know, they're going through a lot, but you know, about 5 years later now, I think it's a conversation I want to have, and that's what the blog has always been for me, a really honest place to, you know, have dialogue, start conversations with people. So ultimately, I just want to say I think divorce is really hard. I think it's really hard for children, and you know, you don't really know how to evolve to that place where, you know, this person that you didn't like enough to be, you know, with them has to become your ally and your friend as you continue to raise this child. So it takes, I think, superhero strength, but it's worth it. And, you know, I try to take a high road with him.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Capital H-I-M.
Yeah.
Frequently.
Well, I love that you're really open about it because it's inspiring to other people that are going through the whole co-parenting process. What's something you had to overcome recently, maybe a hurdle or struggle, and how'd you do that?
You know, I feel like in regards to, you know, divorce, you really have to remember that, you know, that is another person that your child has to respect, and that they should be told to cultivate a loving relationship with them. You know, so even though Ron and I have had our conflicts, and to be quite honest, we've had enough of them that, you know, it does make things difficult, I really try to encourage Easton to love and respect him, because at the end of the day, I needed a dad, I needed a great relationship with my father, and I just try to remind her that, you know, whether or not she lives with me mostly, she really needs to have a loving, respectful relationship with him.
It makes a lot of sense. Look, one of the things about all of that, the next level is probably like the dating life, right? And
Right.
introducing your daughter to another man.
That is the next vlog.
Is that the next vlog? Is
right,
it?
maybe that's the one on the
Oh,
plane.
that's the one on the plane? What's your strategy for that? Because I feel like that's a big...
I'm already in a relationship.
Yeah.
So she does know that, Easton does know that I'm in a relationship.
But was there a moment where it's like, oh, here's someone new, when do I introduce my kid to this new person?
Well, I really didn't have much choice in the matter because I was introduced to Jonathan through my family. So my daughter knew I was being set up on a blind date.
Oh, really?
By my parents, who I had a double date with,
Wow.
which seemed a little overwhelming to me. I thought, I don't know how well this is going to go, but it happened and it worked out beautifully.
Yeah.
So Easton was in the front seat of knowing that that was happening. I would say prior to that, I was very discreet and, you know, and really no relationship, you know, before this one really occurred.
Maybe
So
that's the best way to do it.
I
Like,
know.
get them involved
Yeah.
from the start, and they kind of architect the whole thing.
She was an architect. She was involved. And it's a family event. This is an arranged marriage. So.
There you go.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank
Glad
you,
that
guys.
everything
Thank
seems to be
you.
going well. And you guys, Sergeant Will Gardner is in theaters on demand and digital today.
Love her so much. And coming up next week, guys, lots going on. Country star Dylan Scott is back in the studio. He's got a brand new single coming out. We can't wait to hear about that.
Plus, the fabulous Molly Ringwald is here giving us the scoop on her new movie, All the Small Moments. You need to see this. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing weekend.
Bye, guys.